Okay, hello and welcome to this tutorial. This is going to be an abstract contemporary painting tutorial for beginner to intermediate level students. And we are starting with a stretched canvas. This is just a lightweight stretched canvas. It's 18 by 24 and it has been coated with a prepped coat of titanium white that is fully dry. I do suggest that you prep all of your canvases with either a coat of gesso or a coat of titanium white just to give it a nice smooth surface on which to work and help absorb some of that paint into the tooth of the canvas. You can put 2 or 3 coats if you want an ultra smooth background as well. So getting started with this, what we're going to do is we're going to lightly mist our canvas with just a little water. Not a lot of water, just a light mist, so everything's a little bit damp. I've got a flat brush with a little bit of water on it, and I am going to lay down a few different blues. We're going to create a background, so this is just a little bit. Sometimes these tubes get stuck. Oh dear, that came out way more than I wanted it to. We're going to create just a little bit with our paint. I've got a blue-gray. This is a Prussian blue. And I'm also going to put just a couple drops of ultramarine blue. This is a high flow that I'm using, but you can use any type. And again, a couple mists, and just start moving the paint around. This high flow is going to really act sort of like watercolory. It doesn't matter how it looks at this point. We're going to be covering up most of this. I also have the soft body that we're moving through, and then the Prussian for the deeper look here in the bottom area. So again, work with a brush and a canvas that's a little damp so you can move the paint around. Stand back, you can mist lightly to add just a little more water. Again, take it out to the edges, but don't be overly concerned with the level of color that's, saturated or not fully saturated in some areas. Just make sure you kind of get everything covered, especially to the sides there. You can go over this to create those gradations of color, which is really pretty. Just like I'm doing here, go up and down to kind of blend. You see that creates that blend. This is pretty dark. There's a lot of intensity here. Don't worry, we are going to go back over it with some additional color. Mixes. So at this point, you really don't want every drop of canvas covered, because that's going to also help some of the underlying colors show through as sort of a transparency when we go ahead and lay some of our other layers on here. We are going to create this painting in layers, which is something you want to do for a more interesting and a more sophisticated higher end painting. There are a lot of paintings out there you can watch videos on that just drop the paint on canvas and they create something, with fully saturated color the first go around. But if you will really look at it, you won't see a lot of building and a lot of that transparency and translucency coming through unless you work in this fashion of layering your colors. So at this point, we're going to call it good. It looks like a big mess, but that's okay. Don't freak out. Just kind of get something down that looks like this. It's okay to leave some edges that are unfinished here. As a matter of fact, I think you should. Do not concentrate the paint completely. You can. I have on one corner a little bit more here, down here, but at this point, this is kind of where we want to be. If you don't have these exact colors, I would suggest getting the Prussian blue. You can add a tiny bit of black and a spot of black, or shading gray, or a little gray to that to create more of a blue gray. You might have to add just a drop of white to lighten that if it's too much. The ultramarine, you can use a cobalt blue or any shade of brighter blue that you might have. So this is just our first layer, and we're going to let this dry thoroughly, very thoroughly. So I suggest at least 24 hours for a good dried underlayer. Longer is even better. And then we can come back and start building on top of it.